Welcome back, and thank you very much for joining us. My name is Swartik Mayaja, and this is the Mayaja Accredited News Network, and we are on another episode of the Everyday Hero show. This week, lucky me, I get to talk to a dietitian. The same week I decide to become a vegan, this young lady, Lauren Smith, who I went to high school with, joins me on the show. Lauren, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
Please tell me and the people, who are you and why nutrition, why dietitian, why that?
So I'm Lauren, as you know, and I went to high school with you. So I chose nutrition for my career after actually at the YMCA in Newton. I met what I believed was a dietitian my freshman year of college when I came home one summer, and he was telling me all this stuff that I had no idea about peanut butter, and I love peanut butter.
Ditto.
So I was very perplexed by it, went back to school that fall, and decided, I want to do nutrition.
Yeah.
I want to study it more. I want to know kind of the science behind it all and how to live the best healthy life.
See, so for me, I feel like it's a perfect match for you, right? Because I know Lauren from way back, but you've always been, well, I don't know if you have been, but you've always looked healthy, right? You looked the part, which is, I think, sometimes a big part of the deal, but other times not so much. But it's nice if you do, and you've always looked the part. You always eaten healthy. In high school, did you buy lunch, bring lunch, pack your own lunch? Did mom do it? How did you eat in high school growing up?
Yeah, so that's a whole another part of why I also want to continue doing nutrition. So I played sports a lot in high school, as you know. We ran track together. And there was no nutrition component to our athletics.
None.
And that's a huge part of success in athletics. And I never felt like I had that. Not that it would have, brought me to another level or whatnot, but I didn't have that. And I packed my lunch sometimes. I ate out a lot. I did really like fast food growing up. Who doesn't love McDonald's French fries? Let's be honest.
I love my fast
But that is just a huge component with athletics and how there's,
it really is.
There's no resources for students in high school, so that's kind of also another reason.
So you're real modest in the way of saying that it wouldn't have taken you to another level. But I'm not a nutritionist. You guys know I'm a nurse. I love what I do. But the very little, literally, it's been like a day and a half of nutritional research, and I honestly believe it could have taken me to another level. I feel like nutrition.
It will. I was saying personally with me. I don't know if that was, because nutrition can only do so much. Yes, it can bring you to that next level, especially when you're at a really high level already. It can bring your game up a little more, but it's not make or break in terms of your whole career.
Definitely not. Okay, so nutrition, dietitian. So you decided it when you were at the YMCA, which, by the way, I went to, loved the YMCA. Shout out to West Suburban. But so tell me, because you just explained this to me, but for the people, what is the difference between a dietitian and a nutritionist? In my mind, they basically do the same thing.
So that's something I often encounter. A dietitian goes to school. They do what they call a DPD program. So they do their undergrad degree in nutrition, nutritional science.
Yes.
So because they're all evidence-based, my career. And then they go on to something called a dietetic internship. So basically it's 6 months to a year of clinical hours, depending on the program, where you are working in a hospital setting, you're working in a community setting, you're working in outpatient, you're working in a ton of different areas depending on what you want to do, to learn medical nutrition therapy, because that's a whole other part of dietetics, and then just counseling skills and just becoming more well-versed in nutrition, whereas nutrition, or a nutritionist, anyone can call themselves a nutritionist. So you could literally take a week course online about nutrition, how to be healthier, and you can call yourself a nutritionist and put it anywhere.
So I'm definitely a nutritionist. I'm going to put that on my resume just because I took a full semester. So but
that's even more than some people who claim that they're a nutritionist.
I count. I'm going to put that. That's in there, like swimwear. So I want to know. So because you said that it takes all of this, where are you in your adventure? Where are you in the process of becoming a dietitian? Are you a dietitian? Like, what's the situation right now?
Yeah, so I did my undergrad in nutrition at Florida State University, go Noles. And then this year I went to BU, Boston University, and I did my master's in clinical nutrition.
Welcome
and
back.
right now I am at UMass Medical Center doing my internship hours. So I'm in my neuro week of medical nutrition therapy stuff, and next week I start my GI rotation. Yeah.
Wowzers. So there's a neuro section in dietitian?
Yeah.
I thought it would all be GI.
Yeah. Well, if you're a stroke patient and you say,
Oh,
can't
shit.
eat, what are you going to do? How are you going to
Look
eat?
at this lady. Oh my goodness, I'm excited. I have all of a sudden this has taken a turn. We might end up a lot talking about that versus what I want to talk about, which is being vegan, which is something I really need help with, and I'm happy you're here. But before that, there's just a couple of questions I think that a lot of people have for nutritionists, for dietitians, for those folks that I am here to clear the air about. So I don't want to say where do we start because that's just too general. I'm just saying, so for the average Joe, I want to be healthier. What is your suggestion?
So my go-to answer when people ask me this on the street is it's so person specific.
Okay.
And often with nutrition, you have these Instagram accounts and these bodybuilders and you have these documentaries like What the Health, and they're spewing these really broad statements about nutrition when in reality, just like you're like in the hospital as a nurse,
Yes.
your treatment for a patient is so individualized. That is the same with nutrition.
Facts.
Your needs depend on so many factors. So always I encourage seek out help from, a registered dietitian, specifically if it relates to nutrition.
Yeah.
But there's always little things that you can do to become a little bit more healthier. For instance, if you don't drink a lot of water currently, tracking your intake and then seeing, okay, maybe I'll have like another glass. I'll try this for 3 times and make it what we call a SMART goal. Have you heard of a SMART goal?
I've heard of it. Don't know it, but heard of it.
Yeah, so you want to make your goals specific, measurable, attainable, so it's like realistic. R is realistic, and time oriented.
Okay.
I might have double check on the A. I should know that. But basically, you want to see how this goal. You're gonna want to think about that while you're making a goal. So it's not something like, oh, I want to be a millionaire. Like, how are you gonna get there? You have to take the little steps to get to those little goals.
And okay, so it's just like the little goals, and you're saying it's very specific to each patient, right? So each person. But like, okay, so because it's hard, right?
Yeah.
It's hard. So when I want to do my research, and outside of talking to a dietitian one-on-one, right? It's like me going online.
Online, just searching.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So is it like I should search 5'8", young black male, 23 years old, what should I eat?
Yeah.
How do we get there without talking to a dietitian?
So first off, there's tons of resources online that are really reputable, whether or not you have to kind of dig through them.
Yes.
For instance, I will be, as a dietitian, the governing agency over me is the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, called the A&D. Phenomenal resources, something called My Plate that can show you how to build a healthful plate at home.
Yes.
But that's just for general health. There's tons of other resources. What comes to mind is the CPSCA, which I'm a member of. It's the Collegiate Professional Sports Dietetic Association. So if you're thinking about sports performance, they have a lot of resources online. In layman's terms as well. There's tons of resources out there. So you just want to be sure you are going to a website that is reputable. Another one could be like the American Diabetic Association.
Oh, of course.
So they have a lot of resources free for people online. And even some Instagram accounts can really have some great sources as well.
Like
you just
Lauren's.
need to be mine doesn't have too much nutrition. Twitter is also a great place too, but you just have to be conscious about what you're reading and take a second to step back and say, okay, do I believe this? Or do I need to go somewhere else and kind of fact check it or research it again?
Yeah. So everything she said is stuff that I actually tell my patients to do. Like I tell them to go to, the American Diabetes Association.
Don't just go to WebMD.
Exactly. Not just WebMD and not just a Google search. Like go to these reputable sources. So, it's legit. It's nearly impossible to do this is where you should go, where you would find all your answers, because every person
is so different.
It's
and that's
different.
why I don't give out advice to people. That's not what I'm here to do that, and there's a time and a place for it, but just my personal beliefs with nutrition, it's so individualized that I don't want to go against my beliefs and just say, oh yeah, you should do this and this. I don't know if your goal is to lose weight, gain lean body mass. You name it. There could be so many goals that you're going towards. Improve your cholesterol levels because you don't want to have heart disease. There's so many things, and you just have to talk to the person to understand what their goals are before you even set a goal.
Which makes sense.
Yeah.
So let's go into outside of specific people, patients. I want to know generalities. Yeah. Should people be aware of the calories they eat? Should they count them? Should they not count them? Should they just pick general healthy foods? How do you?
Yeah, and I think that answer is really going to depend on the person. I think that's such a debated thing in my field, whether to count calories or kind of intuitively eat. Yeah. I personally don't count calories. A huge push that I'm a part of and want to teach my potential clients, patients, whoever, and hopefully you guys in this video, is called intuitive eating. It's basically eating food when you want it and not depriving yourself of it. So if you want a cookie one day, you're going to have that cookie, and because you're going to have that cookie, you're not going to restrict it and then really, really crave it, because the more you restrict a food, the more you do want it, and it is shown.
Oh, geez. Okay.
Yeah.
So we need to work on that with me. Okay. So we'll get there.
But once again, it depends on your goal too, because I know people who do count calories and they want to, gain a certain physique, and for some people that works, but some people that can spiral into an eating disorder.
And so because you just said that if you are craving a cookie or if you just want a cookie, you should go eat it at that time.
That's my personal belief.
That's your personal belief. So you wouldn't be the dietitian to tell people to stay away from carbs.
I am not the food police, and once again, it depends on your goals, because I know I'm bringing up random examples, but I worked a lot with athletes at Florida State, and that's kind of where I love to go with my career. And, a high carbohydrate diet is optimal for sport. It is going to make you better. If you deprive yourself of carbohydrates, you're not going to be as good as an athlete.
Of course, because that's where you get all the energy, right? So you need it. It depends on if you're working out or not. It depends on if you're running 100 miles a week or not. So it makes sense. It makes sense. It's just, okay. I know this. I want this to be about you guys, but I also really want it to be about me, right? So I want this to be my mini session with a dietitian. But we'll say general. We'll say general because it's only fair. If I want to, I think just most people want to lose weight, right? If they want to lose weight, they want to look better, and they just want to feel better.
Yeah.
Is there a food group you would tell people to eat? Is there something you could give us?
Yeah. What immediately comes to mind, and I will just say this from the beginning: we always hear everything in moderation. Yeah. And I think there is a lot of truth to that. And I obviously am promoting the intuitive eating. Yeah. But what you just said really struck me, because it made me think of protein, for instance. Yeah. Protein, if you have it in the morning with breakfast, I don't know the exact levels from this study, but they were showing that basically the more protein you eat at breakfast, the more full you are in the afternoon, especially coupled with fat. So, that could be one little thing to think about when you're looking at what you currently eat. So if you, are having a really high carbohydrate breakfast with just, maybe bread and butter or a bagel and cream cheese, or just cereal and milk. The milk brings a little bit of protein, but those are really high carbohydrate breakfasts. So maybe if you had bread with eggs instead, that can boost up your protein intake. Greek yogurt's a great example as well with that. So just little switches, thinking about looking at the meals that you're currently eating, and what can maybe what can you tweak and change.
So okay, I'm loving it. I really do love it. It doesn't, for me as a vegan, today I'm a vegan. I've been a vegan for about 4 or 5 days, which I'm very proud of, which at the same time I've been struggling with. All of those things don't agree with the diet that I am taking. So I would need much more specific, but we're not going to stay there. We'll get there in time. Because you said you want to be in the sports world, as specific to dietitians. Do you think that the outlook that we have as people as eat as much meat as humanly possible because that translates to muscle, does that have any truth to it at all?
So Yes and no.
Okay.
For one, I will say it out flat. Not that I don't support a vegan diet or a vegetarian diet. I was a vegetarian for 3 years in college.
Were you
so
really?
I do have vast experience with meal planning on a vegetarian diet.
Back. Okay.
But I am not currently a practicing vegetarian, if you want to call it that. But being a vegan and vegetarian takes a lot of planning.
It sure does.
Especially to make sure you're eating, adequately and you're getting all the nutrition that you need. So when it comes to the lean body mass and gaining muscle, yes, you can reach your protein needs with a vegan and vegetarian diet. It takes a lot of planning, but also a lot of those sources aren't the most bioavailable protein sources. For instance, eggs is the number one most bioavailable protein.
Okay.
So when you restrict those types of foods, it might be more difficult to gain lean body mass, and it might be you might have some difficulty.
But you're saying it's still a possibility. I mean, you can still get there. It's just
it just is going to take a lot more planning, and not that it's suboptimal nutrient.
Yeah.
Or not. It's not as great foods.
Okay. I can deal with that.
Not as many great foods.
I can deal with that for a little bit. I don't know how long I'm going to do this. I'm just going to say, because you're right. It's one of the hardest things ever, just because I spend more time making sure that I'm not eating any animal products than I am actually eating.
Yeah.
There's so much prep. There's so much work that you have to do in the front end to just enjoy a simple meal.
Especially eating out.
Oh, forget about it.
Yeah,
I can't.
Forget about it.
I can't. I just can't. And when I do go out, and if I don't know the place, or if it's just off the cuff, I end up getting a Caesar salad.
Yeah.
No cheese, no dressing. That's what it has to be.
And then does it taste good? No.
I'm not a big salad eater. I'm not. But I do love that when I do prep, when I do prepare, it is great. The food is great. It is. But we're going to get back to you being a vegetarian in a bit. I want to just ask you, when you talk about working out in athletes, does it matter how often they eat? Does it matter
absolutely.
Okay. So you do think that as an athlete, it is just calories in, calories out type of way, right? Yeah.
So what I wish I had a picture of it for you guys, but basically something that I saw, actually one of my last preceptors showed me it. I forget who it was from, so sorry if that person ever watches this video, probably, I don't know. But basically, on the bottom, you're going to think about your energy needs.
Okay.
So energy needs trumps everything. You don't want to even think about the timing that you take your whey protein shake post-workout until you meet your bottom energy needs.
Okay.
Then above that, you're going to have macronutrients, which are basically carbs, proteins, fats. So those are, when you start thinking about, okay, am I having a lot of carbohydrate or protein or fat, or what are the percentages? And then above that is micronutrients. So that's your vitamins, your minerals. And that's when you're going to start thinking about, okay, how are the foods that I'm eating, are they processed and maybe aren't as nutritious as, a whole fruit or a whole vegetable, for instance.
Yeah.
And then above that, you think about the timing that I mentioned. So when you're eating your meals, so how far before you're working out are you eating your meal? What's your recovery like post-workout? And then you can go on and so forth.
If you actually just send me that picture, I'm going to put that up somewhere, because that's something I actually really want to have.
Yeah.
That's legit. That's legit.
And I'll have the
so the time is the last thing you look at.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just energy is number one.
Yeah.
How much energy you need. So, but
bottom line, you have certain energy needs that you have to meet.
If an egg is worth me running, or how do I know? How do I know if I'm eating a sandwich, I can do this much energy? Or is it just eat until I'm full and then I can run a mile? And then after that, I need to eat until I'm full again.
Yeah, so definitely exercise will take away from, so let me rephrase this. You have certain energy needs every day that you have to meet, called the resting metabolic rate.
Of course.
And so you have to meet those needs every single day. Exercise on top of that, you're burning calories.
Okay.
Whether you're weight training, resistance training, or running, doing some sort of cardiovascular exercise. So bottom line, whatever your RMR is, so whatever your resting rate is metabolically, you have to add those other calories from working out to get the full amount of calories that you truly need just to maintain. But then if you want to gain weight, you need even more above whatever all your energy expenditure
definitely
is.
Be a problem for me. So it sounds like a lot of math. So if you have very specific goals, you need to be very specific in this thing. Mm-hmm. So I've always thought that nutrition is so complicated, right? Mm-hmm. It just comes off as like the most complicated everything because I want to when I want to think of nutrition, I want to think of like the food, like the actual food. But every time you ask someone about nutrition, they start saying things like proteins and amino acids and vitamin E and vitamin D. I'm like, okay, all right, time out. I don't know what vitamin D is, but I know I like milk. Is that working for me? I don't know what protein is. So
that's where dietitian can come in. So we have the tools, total plug for myself. We have the tools to say, okay, we may know this crazy science that's sometimes even confusing to us, but we can translate it into things like, knowing milk has vitamin D, knowing a banana has potassium, knowing meat is a great source of protein. So we're able to translate the science into actually what you should be doing, because you don't need to know all the craziness. Unless it interests you.
No, thank you. Thank you. Absolutely not. I have no interest in knowing all of that stuff. I mean, so for some of it, I need to know the bare minimum as a nurse. So I can do some education to my patients, but I do it probably 10 times a day, where I'm like, if you have this question, someone's asking me, I don't know, I want to get stronger, I want to feel better, what should I eat? I'm like, I know you should eat your food that's in front of you, but outside of that, I'll get the dietitian for you, and that's what I do with the nutritionist for you. So you seem like the most progressive dietitian in the world. All right?
What is that supposed to
It just means
almost dietitian.
Oh yeah, almost dietitian. But you seem like, do you boo type of situation. Eat what you want, just in moderation, right? Which is nice, right? Which is nice. Exactly. So, but are you for, against, or neither when it comes to diet? When it comes to juicing, paleo, vegan, vegetarian?
Such a good question. So, in terms of juicing and detoxes, your kidney detoxes you. So you do that cleanse you're buying for $50 online from whatever place. Trash it. Go buy yourself a massage with that $50 because it's a total crock of BS.
I'm with you. I know I always thought those were bullshit. I knew. I had a gut feeling. Okay.
That's good.
Yeah.
What other diets?
So paleo.
Paleo, yeah.
So the Atkins diet. Vegetarians and vegans.
Yeah. So I think vegetarian and vegan diets kind of goes into the whole belief kind of group. So there could be a variety of reasons why you want to be vegan or vegetarian, and some of them I can't really argue, or if, even religious-wise, some people are vegetarians based upon their religion. Yeah. So I definitely, I was a vegetarian before, so I don't disagree with those diets, but I do disagree with them if someone's doing it for the wrong reasons.
Of course.
Or, mostly the wrong reasons, I would say. Otherwise, with Paleo and Atkins, those are kind of more controversial in the field of nutrition. Personally, for me, I wouldn't say I support a Paleo diet. I just don't like these things with a name on it that are sometimes for money. So in the food industry, you notice a lot of people are branding things, and nutrition I don't think can be branded, and everything is so individualized. So, a certain type of diet may work for you to get you to your goal, but it doesn't mean it's also the most healthful, and it might not make you a healthy person.
Yeah.
And diet, implied by the name, implies restriction, implies depriving yourself of something. Not dietary pattern, which is what a diet truly is, but a diet in the sense of Atkins, Paleo, or whatever. It's based on the fact of foods not to eat.
Yeah, and not that's a thing, because you're a dietitian, or you're going to be a dietitian, right? And you're right. When someone says diet, the first thing I think of is, oh shit, here we go. What am I not allowed to eat?
Yeah.
What am I
but never about what you should eat.
Exactly.
It's just like the glass half full, glass half empty. Okay. Why are you thinking of it it half empty when half full is, what you should eat, what you can't eat.
Sure. It's just,
I don't know if
no, it is. It's true. It just is true. But you're raised a certain way. You've been eating a certain way your entire life, and then someone says, no, you need to change, right? You need to change the way you're eating. And are you for, if I tell you I'm going to do a 3-month diet, is that are you go ahead, or are you no, you should just change the way you eat permanently? Does it matter?
It really depends. I mean, I work at a fitness studio, so I hear a lot of people, wanted to go on a cleanse and this diet and that diet. And so personally, although I'm not a dietitian yet, I'm obviously almost there.
Yeah.
But when even my friends and stuff, they say they're doing something, I honestly just bite my tongue, because I don't sometimes want to give my opinion, and I don't want to have to always a lot of people always ask me what to eat, and that's your decision. So many factors go into what you eat too, but I mean, what you eat is up to you. So I'm not going to tell you don't do this or don't do that. Will give you my perspective and my view if you do ask me.
So what do you eat? I want to know what you eat.
I eat?
So are you on a specific, how do you look, what's your diet like? What's your eating
so
like?
like I mentioned, I try to do more intuitive eating.
Okay.
So I definitely, have certain foods that I really do love. I can name some of them, but as a dietitian, I try not to tell people what I eat, because a lot of people will take that information and they will say that is the diet and I can only eat these foods, when that is not what I'm trying to do.
Okay, let's not do that then. I don't want to blow up your spot, because you might get an email 3 years from now.
Yeah.
You ruined my life.
The Lauren diet.
The Lauren diet. But okay, so now I want to step into what I'm doing right now, which is being vegan. Yeah. I know you just said that there's some things you just can't argue with. And I'm going to just start off with that, what you just can't argue with. It's a fact. I mean, we just know it now, that how people raise cows, the farm factories, the meat industry in general is polluting the world at a much worse rate than cars, factories, all of that stuff. And you agree with that, correct?
So in terms of the meat industry and the impact environmentally, I am not as well versed on that topic. So I can't give a firm answer, because that's not what I studied throughout my 4 years or my 5 years of school. It's not my expertise.
Of course.
It's not my realm.
It's definitely not my expertise, but I'm going to tell you it's true. Take that with a grain of salt. I'm not 1,000% sure, but I'm 94%. I'm 94% because it's just objectively, I've seen it in research study after research study after research study. I'm definitely not a scientist. I don't know. I haven't done the research myself, but it's what I have seen. If you disagree, sure, no problem. But I'm just saying that is what I know and what is I believe to be true right now. So as a vegan, and I'm talking on a high, I've been doing this for 4 days, literally 4 days. So I'm not really a vegan. I'm more let me taste this and see what it's like. Any advice do you have for vegans, especially when it comes to specifically protein is something I'm a little concerned about, not too much, but a little bit, and just getting a sufficient diet, because I've noticed within my first 4 days, I've been hungry 24/7, all day. I'm always hungry.
You're always hungry because you're not getting full. So with being a vegan and vegetarian, when I think of protein, I always think of what foods are you pairing together? Because plant proteins, most of the time you have to pair them with other foods to make what we call a complete amino acid. So for instance, meats like chicken, chicken's poultry, or meats like hamburger, pork, eggs, they all have complete amino acid profiles in them. Yeah. So you're going to get all the amino acids that you require that are essential to your functioning of the body and just your health. Plant-based foods, you have to pair them together because plants don't have all of the amino acids in them. So for instance, a great pair is what we always say is rice with beans.
Okay.
That makes a complete amino acid, so you're making sure that you're getting all the ones you need every day.
Okay, so
it's
a little more work when you're not.
A little more work,
it's a little more work, and you have to know these things, right?
Yeah.
And then what about the eating? What about me being hungry? So the recording just stopped. But what I was asking is back to me eating, me just feeling full. Is that something I'm gonna get used to? You don't know what I've been eating, but like, why as a vegan am I not full? Is basically what I'm asking.
Yeah. So.
Well,
especially with plant-based diets. I mean, I support plant-based diets, especially for like cardiovascular health. The Mediterranean diet, if you've ever heard of that, is, touted as one of like the best dietary patterns, to be following in terms of your health. But in terms of a vegan and vegetarian diet, if you're eating a lot of really low-calorie plant foods, think of like having a whole big salad that's mostly just vegetables, just fibrous vegetables. That's not a lot of calories. So it's going to fill you up internally, but it's really not going to provide you the total amount of calories that you need.
Okay.
So that could be one reason why you maybe aren't getting as full.
It must be the reason, because
and plant-based diets are also lower in fat and protein typically. Not a horrible thing, but if you're used to something else and then you go to this type of pattern, you're not getting your normal nutrition, and who knows, maybe you're not getting enough nutrition, so that's why also you're hungry.
Yeah, because I'm not a big cooker. Mm-hmm. Like, so you said rice and beans is a good pair when it comes to protein. Because I don't cook much. Mm-hmm. I want to just eat the simplest and the easiest thing. And when you're vegan,
that anyway.
Exactly. But like when you're vegan, you can't just take the ready-made whatever noodles or whatever. And I end up just eating raw veggies and fruits all day, every day.
Yeah.
And I mean, it makes sense. If it's sure it's gonna fill me up if I eat a freaking bowl of a garden salad.
Yeah,
but
just in terms of size.
Exactly, in size. But if it's not nutritionally there.
It's not calorie dense.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to get hungry. Oh, geez.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to find something.
Yeah, and like I said, there are tons of resources online.
Oh yeah.
So definitely, search and see what works for you, and then this isn't a permanent thing. You can always say, definitely. If this doesn't work with your lifestyle, and you're so busy as a nurse, and everyone is so busy, who has time for all of this planning? So figure it out, see if it can work for you. Then if not, try something else.
We're almost done, almost here. But like when I think I want to try this and I want to be really good at it, but like I get really turned on and turned off of things based on these documentaries. And Lauren, my friend here, she actually helped me out when it came to one of the documentaries that really got me onto this vegan, boat, this like, let's do the vegan thing. The specific one I'm talking is What the Health. I watched it. I made a couple of posts, and Lauren was kind enough to be like, you might want to be a little bit careful with that. And I appreciate it, because when I did my research, and I was like, oh shit, yeah, like a lot of the shit is just like him like tooting his own horn, like he's a vegan, he wants everyone to be
vegan. And also, I know you're probably going to ask me this, that documentary just totally cherry picks data and draws huge conclusions. Some of them I agree with, some of them I don't. And just draws these huge black and white thinking confusions and conclusions, and perpetuates basically fear to everyone who's watching this documentary. So
like, if you don't know the documentary, and if you're not about to go watch the whole thing just because we're talking about it, it's basically this guy. He's going around asking doctors. He goes to the American Diabetes Association, the American Heart Association, and he asks them, why are you promoting meat-based diets when they are shown to cause worsening of these diseases and diabetes and cancer and all of these things. And then, like she said, it's not like the research, there's 1 or 2 studies or 4 studies or 5 studies that say that, but there's also 10, 15, 20 studies that say the exact opposite, right? So it's easy if you find one study to say, oh, look, this says this, why are you not? But I'm still doing the vegan diet because I personally believe it's going to be helpful to me. I think it's going to help. It's better for the planet in general.
Those are awesome reasons.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. But I just want to end real quick. Last question before we get into the personal stuff. Do you when people watch these documentaries, especially people like myself, I'm very gullible and I jump on these ships when they look very appealing. How do you suggest someone goes about getting some information that they're really excited about and they're not sure if it's true or not?
Exactly. So it's okay to watch a documentary. I remember in high school, actually, I forget whose class it was. We watched Food Inc.
Oh, no.
I forget what class it was.
No more sugar, right? Is that Food Inc?
No. Food Inc. is about just the whole meat industry, or not whole meat, just whole food industry in the United States.
Yeah.
And so that actually, it did spark my interest in nutrition. And now look where I am now.
Goodies.
But when you're watching these documentaries, you have to understand why a documentary is made, and it is made to persuade you to think a certain way. So when you leave that documentary thinking the way that they're wanting you to think, they did their job well done, but that doesn't mean all the information is accurate. For instance, in What the Health, there is a relationship between processed meats and cancer risk. There is a solid relationship with that, and I'm not going to, slander that, but they're slandering all these great organizations that provide so much care and resources and funding and just are phenomenal organizations that I support. That when I'm a dietitian, I'm going to support them.
As a nurse, like I say all the time, I direct my patients to the association, the Diabetes Association of the Heart.
Yeah.
So it does make me feel like a shitty person.
But at the same time, if you look further into what they're saying in this documentary, they're saying things, for when this kind of popped out to me, they were like, canned tuna is bad and that's a processed meat. Canned tuna is a phenomenal thing to be including in your diet. It has omega-3 fatty acids. It's a great protein source on the go. You can have it plain and it not have, all this added fat and sugar and all these other things in it. And they're slandering it and saying that that's going to cause cancer. And, so many things you can argue can cause cancer. So that's all I have to say.
So when I hear that, so are you saying I should take that to a dietitian and communicate that before I do any drastic changes to my life?
With anything in life, before you make any drastic changes, always consult a physician, a nurse, a dietitian, your physical therapist, your personal trainer, or a trainer at the gym you may know if you're trying to change your workout maybe and you're not really sure if it's a good idea or it's going to work. Anything in life, financially.
Exactly.
Go see someone to help with your finances. Anything you can do, always double check it with a family friend or a friend or anyone.
Makes sense. Okay, so 5 years from now, Lauren, when you are the leader of the...
I will not be the leader.
The dietetics. I love how you guys say, is it dietetics? Why does it say...
Dietetics?
I love that. I love the way that sounds, first of all. When you run the organization, when you're the top dietitian in Massachusetts and you're kicking ass and you fly from here to Florida, you're doing your thing, and I call you and I say, Lauren, can I have a follow-up interview because this vegan thing might not be working out?
I don't answer the call, I'll give you advice.
Hey, you hear that? You heard it here. I know we've talked a shit ton, and I know you don't want to give personal advice, but if you can leave our friends here with one piece of advice, just one piece of advice to take when it comes to their health, when it comes to eating and nutrition, what would that be?
One piece of advice.
One piece, just one nugget.
What comes to mind first is fruits and vegetables.
Hey.
So obviously, shameless promo as a future dietitian. I think everyone should always, consider their fruit and vegetable intake. Obviously, some people are eating enough. Maybe some people aren't. But a lot, I'm working in a clinical hospital setting right now, and you'd be surprised how many people don't eat fruits and vegetables, and they're coming in for what we call a cabbage, so like a bypass, stents. So I think there are still a ton of people who, aren't really eating the best for their health. And so if you are focused on your health and you do want to, get a little healthier, consider your vegetable and fruit intake right now and then see if there's any ways you can also increase that if you don't think you're eating enough.
Well, Lauren, thank you very much. Where do you want our friends here to find you? Do you have Instagram, Facebook page, a website, anything you want promoted? Where can we find you?
So I have a personal Instagram that I don't post a ton of nutrition stuff on, but I do have a registered dietitian oriented, to be oriented Twitter account, Lauren Smith RD2B.
Oh, really? RD2B, the number, not the word.
The number.
Okay, cool beans. That's going to be, I'm going to put that somewhere here. It's going to be in the description down below. You guys, this is the kind of shit like I want to do for like the rest of time, right? I'm a nurse. I love healthcare. I want to talk to other healthcare providers, talk about shit that matters to human beings. Yeah, and health.
Everyone eats.
Exactly. Everybody eats. Nutrition matters quite a bit. So Lauren, I really do appreciate this. Thank you so much. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And then in the comment section below, I have a question. I don't know if you have a question, but my question for you guys is, have you tried any crazy diet? Or have you changed your diet drastically? And if so, tell me how that go and what the diet was. I'll catch you guys later. Do you have a question you want to ask people?
What are new myths and facts that you guys hear about nutrition, and do you find them true? Do you live by them?
Facts and myths on nutrition. I like that. Yeah. That's actually legit. We'll talk later. But yes, facts and myths on nutrition, and then diet trends down below. Like and subscribe, Lauren. Thank you. Catch you guys later. Deuces. Lauren, up top, girl. That was legit.